Hey you guys, it's Cayley. I am back with another thrift haul today. You guys have asked for some more bread and butter style thrift hauls, and it's actually been a while since I've shared, a lot of what we're picking up. This haul today is mostly low cost of goods, so it's almost all from the Goodwill outlet, also known as the Goodwill bins, where you pay by the pound. In general, we spend about $1.50 to sometimes $2 on average for goods that we get at the Goodwill outlet or the Goodwill bins, which is a pretty low cost of goods. I know some people can get it for much cheaper, but for us, that is pretty low for our area. So it's one of the cheapest places that we can get stuff. The Goodwill outlet can be an excellent place for you to kind of experiment, try things out. If you're going to attempt to style-based source for the first time, this would definitely be probably one of the best places for you to test a couple things out. I wouldn't say to ever go wild and just pick up a bunch of stuff, but to grab some stuff to test out and see if it would work for you. So that's what a lot of this stuff is. Anytime that we go sourcing, meaning myself, this haul right here is actually from two of my employees that have been sourcing for me in our area that I have trained to source just like me, and also our wholesalers. So we're picking up only certain things. We do have a very strong sourcing constitution, meaning what are our rules while we are out thrifting, and all of these things follow those rules no matter where it's coming from. Specifically at the bins, like I said, we do take a little bit more risk just because we know that things can sell, and we can list them for a little bit cheaper than we would other things, therefore being more competitive in our listings. So all of this stuff, including stuff that we get from thrift stores, we're looking for high sell-through rate bolos. We're looking for really solid style-based pieces with data to back it up. And we're also looking for things that just sell really well in our own store. So this is a combination of all of those things. I've got some pretty, I would call them low-key like brands that you probably walk by all the time and you're not picking up. And by the way, I don't recommend that you pick up like everything in these brands. Anything that I show you guys and anything you're seeing online, no matter how well someone tells you that it sells in pretty much anything, you definitely always want to do your own comps, and you also want to make sure that you are embodying the same style, the same factor, the same size. All of that stuff plays a part in whether an item will sell or not. And then sometimes you just have the right customer base. You guys know for me, we sell a lot of plus size items, so we've really built up a customer base, and I would say favor in the search algorithm that we get filtered a lot of those plus size buyers simply because we've been doing it for so long, and the eBay algorithm really trusts us. It's not, it's all based off of data. It's nothing that is, eBay just likes us more. It's, hey, this particular store and this seller has a consistent data over a year of selling plus size items, and every time a buyer clicks into the listing, this is the percentage of buyers who are going through with the purchase. We're going to funnel more towards the seller because clearly it's what buyers are looking for. So that's kind of how the eBay algorithm works essentially. And so we play on that as well with a lot of this stuff, but nothing is better than checking what is doing well in your own store. All right, let's dive into this haul here. My brain is scrambled. I've been doing so much. We've been through total store inventory in the last week. I've been doing calls on Reseller's Edge. I've been talking to so many people. You can probably hear it in my voice. But I'm going to go kind of quickly through this haul because we do have a lot here. Just a reminder, again, a lot of these things are a lower cost of goods, so we feel a little bit more comfortable risking it. A lot of these brands you guys are not going to recognize because it was picked up based on style-based pieces. So I might just quickly flash you the brand here. So here is one of those brands. Don't know this brand. Strictly got this because this falls into the whimsy goth category. Sheer stuff right now, very trendy. I suspect it'll be trendy going into spring as well. However, towards like winter time, people are looking for those darker colors. They're looking for a contrast with a lighter contrast. So you can see this has a nude panel underneath with the sheer black. Very, very trendy just colorway in general. This is also a longer length skirt. So you'll see as we do this haul, even though they're more bread and butter pieces or maybe brands you haven't heard of, we do try to stick with factors that we know are going to elevate the price. So this is an elevated factor, the fact that there's more material, it's a longer length, making it a little bit more substantial. I'll try not to talk as much for every single piece, but I do want to share a little bit of information with you guys on why we picked it up. Excuse me, also recovering from being sick as well as doing a million calls. So a lot of these pieces we're probably going to list for like $25. Again, very bread and butter, but some really great selling pieces. This like whimsy goth and Y2K and some other aesthetics have been some of my top sellers regardless of brand. We'll probably list this one for about $25. This is another style-based piece. Don't know this brand. This is a very vintage sweater vest. Actually don't know if it's men's or women's, kind of giving me women's with how tight it is down here. But this could go so many different ways. I could see like the varsity tennis prep with this. I could see grandma core. There's a new aesthetic coming out called bloquette or blockette, B-L-O-K-E-T-T-E, that I just saw in my Google Trends newsletter. I definitely think that this could fall under that category. Just vintage in general, very classic piece. I could see academia. So again, so many things, so many great keywords that we could put into this. And it really embodies the aesthetic. It's not just a little bit of that aesthetic. It could embody it in totality, which is what I look for in a style-based piece. We don't want just a little bit of something. We want, it to really lean one way into it so that it can, again, get to that right buyer. This, again, probably only going to list for $25. Okay, this is Falls Creek, not a brand I would look for. Here again, we have that darker contrast with a lighter color. This is Red Roses, very trendy for whimsy goth. This is just a knee-length dress, but it is long sleeve. It's all over velvet. So again, lots of really great factors that hold a lot of weight in search. And it, again, is really embodying that aesthetic. Probably list that for $25 as well. I will say, and I've said it in multiple videos, we are trying to be a little bit more careful about picking up a ton of velvet. So this is a haul we've gotten over the last couple of weeks that's prepped and ready to be listed. But I have told my team and also wholesalers that we are slowing down on velvet just because it tends to be more of like a wintry fall thing. So we're just keeping an eye on it. Doesn't mean we're not going to pick up velvet at all. We're just going to be a little bit more careful. Here's another velvet piece. This is Talbot's. This is also Talbot's plus size, which I do like to get. This is vintage and it is a velvet burnout. Velvet burnout is definitely something people are looking for. This one's got sheer sleeves. It's a full button up. It's a longer length tunic top. Could tell it's a tunic because of the side slits here. Not that that's always an indicator, but if it's longer length, but it's plus size and you're like, I don't know, is it tunic or is it just, longer because it's a plus size top? Side slits on the side, in my opinion, indicate a tunic. This one I actually think we would price a little bit higher. I would guess at least $35 on this. Lots of great factor stacking here. And again, Talbot's is a brand a ton of people skip on. That is why I like learning these little niches, these little style-based pickups, factor stacking, and also just what sells well in a brand that everybody is skipping because it just makes it so much easier to source. All right, this next one is also not a brand I would recommend getting. Hillary Radley. Main reason we got this one is because it is Kelly Green. St. Patrick's Day is coming up and Kelly Green, I feel like Kelly Green in general sells all year, but specifically around St. Patty's Day, you're going to see a lot of the sell. So what's important is, again, because this isn't a brand that most people look for, if I don't include the right keywords in the listing, this isn't going to sell. So it's not just getting the piece, you got to know what keywords to use as well. So again, this is Kelly Green, which is the main reason we grabbed this with St. Patty's Day coming up. And it also fits into several different style aesthetics. I'll hold this up and let you guys try to decide in the comments. You can put them below. What do you think this Kelly Green sweater aesthetic-wise falls into. One of the key ones I'm thinking of is preppy, which is very trendy, but I could totally see that going a million different ways. All right, this one, again, not a brand I would normally get. This is a baby doll style dress. It is longer length, gives very Y2K vibes, very feminine, flutter sleeve. I could see this totally being something that people would pick up for Easter and spring. Probably will list that somewhere between 25 and 30. Not a brand I normally get. This is a vintage Y2K older label. A lot of you guys have been asking me, like, how do you tell if it's a vintage label? If you see enough of the same brand, like if you're seeing Leslie Faye a lot or you're seeing Talbot's a lot, let me pull this one again. You'll just notice, like, hey, this tag looks different than everybody else. I wouldn't invest your time unless it's like a Bolo brand into studying and dating labels, especially in like Talbot's or Leslie Faye, right? But you can just tell. So this obviously looks a lot different than most of the Talbot's stuff I come across. So you can tell that it's vintage, and usually that's enough for me. And once you do it so often, you'll start to recognize it, but you can definitely tell that this is a vintage label based on the font and the way the tag looks, and also the silhouette of the item. Kind of a harder thing to teach without a lot of visual examples, but something you can pick up on over time. Okay, this is a longer length skirt. It has kind of ruffle details down below, very feminine features. I could see this again going in so many different directions. I think we'll definitely include the keyword fairy on this one, but longer length skirts is definitely going to increase ASP in just about any brand. Doesn't mean you should pick up every midi and maxi length skirt. No, you want to have other things that sell it, but this is definitely a very trendy skirt. Very feminine details, probably 25 to 30 on that one. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Don't know the brand. Let's see here. Okay, I was hoping that's what it was. This is, again, so I want you to think right now, what do the modern Victoria's Secret labels look like to you? And then when you see this, does it seem vintage? So this is a vintage label. This is Victoria's Secret collection. It is not any specific, like, it's not silk or anything like that. But again, it is a more substantial piece. Victoria's Secret slip dresses, especially if they're vintage and longer length, can perform really well depending on style. This one is a gorgeous maxi length dress. It's got the baby doll style here. We've got lace details. It is a slip dress, and it's a really fun, kind of whimsical, unique color. So again, could see this going so many different ways. I'll have to do my comps on this one. Some of the Victoria's Secret dresses we've sold anywhere from $40 all the way to $100. It just depends on what it is. I do think this one's a little bit more unique, so it might go for more, but that's the range that I am aiming for. All right, next up, this is Pure Jill. I like getting J Jill in plus sizes. 4X, nice, more substantial piece, has some stuff going for it. 3/4 length sleeve, $25. This is another plus size piece. This is not a brand we normally get, but because we're picking it up at the bins, it's plus size and it's got a lot going for it. So kind of that like stretchy, almost liquid knit kind of material. It has some sheer details at the bottom. Very, very on trend, longer length sleeve, $25 is what we're hoping for. All right, this is, again, not a brand I would normally get. Older label, Worthington vintage label. This one is just a Y2K style baby doll top. It's hard to see, but it does have the baby doll empire waist here. We also have a flare sleeve, mesh details, sheer sleeves, very, very Y2K. I have I'm very proud of this video, ultimate Y2K deep dive in Reseller's Edge, plus so many other Y2K deep dives. If you really want to learn and dig into what's selling well in Y2K and the Y2K styles, consider joining Reseller's Edge. It is totally worth it just for those videos. I will probably list that for $25. All right, next up, this is actually a modern brand, Easel. But this is a very on trend for spring. Again, lower cost of goods for us. Longer length skirt gives me very Lily Pulitzer vibes. Great for spring and Easter. $25 is what we're hoping for. We have a couple of figs pieces. We still are picking up figs. We're trying to be a little bit more picky. We generally look up the style number that's on the tag and also the colorway. Generally, joggers perform pretty well. This is also a pretty unique color too. It's teal with pink. I would imagine $20 to $25 on that, although some of them go for like $30. All right, this one is a more modern style. Actually, you know what? I just recently learned with a lot of these mall brands that they actually have dating. This one might not, but some of their like style numbers are down here. Actually, yeah, it says 2017. So a little bit more modern, but there's some dating on even the mall stuff. If you're questioning, is it Y2K or is it not? Sometimes there's actually dating on there that you can see. That makes it really easy. This one is a more modern style Abercrombie and Fitch dress. In the summer, Abercrombie and Fitch dresses tend to perform very well, but they are more bread and butter. This one has that baby doll style, kind of a sweetheart neckline. It is shorter length, so we'll probably list this lower at $25. But my modern Abercrombie and Fitch, even the tops, if they've got that baby doll style, have been performing pretty well for us. This is another modern one. We're just testing out some modern baby doll tops from the bins. We'll test it out. If they're not selling very well, we'll slow down on them, but so far so good. So this is a baby doll top by a brand I wouldn't normally get, Nine West. Size extra small, longer length, sheer, exaggerated bishop sleeves. So lots of, again, trending factors that we'll make sure to put in the listing, hoping for $20 to $25 on that. All right, this is one we probably wouldn't have gotten except for a certain factor. This is Pure Jill, which is a good line, but this is a smaller size. This is a small petite, so normally wouldn't get this. However, found it new with tags, so that significantly increases the value for us. This line by Pure Jill is very sustainable. A lot of people like it. They use great materials. So this is a pair of pull-on new with tags pants. We'll still price probably pretty low at $25. All right, next up, this is another vintage label. Don't memorize that. Slip skirt. This one's actually a shorter length, but very on trend, being a very Y2K style. We have the sheer with the slip underneath. Very nice lighter colors, definitely fairy inspired in Y2K. We'll list that for $25. Here's another pair of those figs pants. I think they might be the exact same one, $25. Another vintage label, simply got it for the style, velvet burnout top. This one is very sheer underneath, which used to be a bad thing, but actually it's very trendy right now. So I really like this piece. It's got some floral details to it, probably $25 to $30 on this one as well. Okay, here's another velvet burnout. This one is definitely not a brand we normally get. LuLaRoe. I don't think so, not usually, but velvet burnout, darker colors, again, very on trend, very fairy grunge and whimsy goth with this one. I haven't done comps on that, but I'm guessing around $25 as well. Like I said, most of these, $25, $30, sometimes a little bit more, but they're so easy to find. They're great pickups at the bins, and even sometimes once you get the hang of it, full price at thrift stores. Not a brand I would normally get. This one's actually new with tags. This is a Y2K baby doll top again. More appropriate for spring. We're starting to move out of the darker colors. I feel like this one's a great in-between colorway. And yeah, very Y2K inspired. I could see that one going for $25 to $30. This one is Draper James. This is not a brand we get a lot of anymore. Very picky, very particular with it. This one's a larger size, plus it is a long length dress, so going to increase the value there. It's also tiered, so tiered dresses. If you've got tiers in pretty much any brand in a dress, not saying to get it, but I am saying it's going to increase the value. And so this one's a great piece for sure. Very appropriate for spring, at least $25 on that. All right, we have some Tommy Bahama silk shirts. These have definitely gone down in both sell-through rate and ASP. But if you list them at the right price, I feel like they do sell. We personally try to focus on larger sizes or like a very specific graphic or embroidery. This is a size extra large. This one's a baby blue embroidered or etched, whatever you want to call it, leaf print one. Very nice condition on this, probably 25 bucks. And then we've got another one. This one's a little bit more plain. It's also a size extra large though, so that's going to help. $25 on that. Okay, this one's definitely not a brand I suggest getting. Usually it is American Eagle, but this one is also very on trend. I've noticed for spring and summer, very lightweight, cottagecore, beachy eyelet details. This combo of stuff has sold very well for me just about every year. So this is just this little top, size extra small, but again, it has all of those factors. It's also a baby doll top and it's tiered, so that might help it as well, hoping for 25. I meant to look this up before I started the video. I'm not familiar with this brand, but I'm guessing that it would have to be a decent sell-through rate to get because it doesn't really fall into a style category. It is Zero Foxtrot. It is a sweatshirt. Again, not super familiar with this, but they picked it up, so I'm guessing the sell-through rate had to have been good. Another style-based piece, not a brand I would get. You can see the sheer stretchy mesh detail. This one is not baby doll, but it is very Y2K in that it's cinched here. Again, with the dark background with the contrast floral. Very, very trendy, hoping for 25 bucks for that. So here's kind of the same thing as an American Eagle top. Lighter colors, whites, ivories, creams, open knit. We've got very lacy details. This one screams very Y2K. This one actually does not. Okay, it has a tag inside. Have no idea what it is. There's no brand tag, but it doesn't matter because, again, very on trend. Hoping for 25 for that one. All right, this one's more of a factor stacking piece. This is Chaps. Again, not a brand I would normally get, but this is a men's shacket. It's also corduroy and it is lined. Shackets like this, we've generally sold between 25 and 35. And this also could fall into several aesthetics, which I could totally see selling very quickly. Another velvet piece. This one is a longer length velvet skirt, very iridescent, like purpley red. Let's see what this brand is. Not a brand I'm familiar with. Size extra large. Again, very whimsy goth, very romantic details on this one. Love this down here. I've sold a lot of skirts like this. We will probably price this competitively, again, just because I know we're going out of winter and I want to ensure that it sells. So I'll probably price that somewhere between 25 and 30. All right, this is another one similar to the J. Jills that we probably wouldn't have gotten except that it was new with tags. This is Eddie Bauer. It is a women's pair of, they're called the Guide Pant. They retail for $80, which doesn't really mean much to me anymore. But just letting you guys know, because Eddie Bauer, they retail for a lot, but typically sell-through rate's not good except in very specific things. This one's the First Ascent line, which helps to increase value a little bit. But the main reason is because it was new with tags. I still think we'll probably only list those for about $25. All right, next up we have a Lululemon shirt. The girls were so excited. They were like, we were at the bins and then all of a sudden I just came across this batch of Lululemon stuff, which was awesome. Lululemon, I will say, is one we're being a lot more careful with. I'm a lot more hesitant to pick them up at regular thrift stores paying full price unless we're looking up the exact style, finding comps and feeling good about it. But at the bins, I feel like it's worth the pickup and we just list it lower. This is a with the rip tag shirt. This appears to be a men's shirt, size medium. Yep. I would say at least 25 for that. Excuse me. Unless we figure out that it is like a very specific style name. But at least 25 for this. This does look like a newer label, so I'm hopeful that it might actually be a more elevated style. All right, completely style-based pickup. This one doesn't even have a brand again, although I feel like it's probably one of the mall brands, just based on the way that it feels. Yeah, I don't know. But it is longer length, again, darker background, contrast florals, and it is also baby doll style. And this one I could also use the keyword milkmaid on. It's got a very milkmaid silhouette. Very, very trendy. This honestly looks like a Revolve dress. I don't think it is based on the way it feels, but if it was, I would not be surprised. Very, very on-trend piece. Because I don't know the brand on that, we'll look up the RN number because there is a material tag on the inside. Without that, I'm just going to guess probably 30 to 40 on that one, just based off of silhouette alone. All right, again, not a brand I would normally get, but lots of factor stacking here. This is a long length dress by Max Studio. It is tiered again, so lots of factor stacking here. Still, again, probably will price, 25, potentially 30. I'm thinking probably 25 on this one, but lots of great details here. Those longer length dresses with the tiered stuff, again, in just about any brand, you can probably pick up with the right keywords. We'll sell it quickly. All right, this one is another style-based pickup. This is, again, dark background, high contrast floral. This one is a sheer dress, so there's no slip under it. I feel like this is one that I might have questioned picking up because I feel like it's a little bit more of a tough sale, but it definitely does fall under that like whimsy, goth, fairy, grunge category with the sheerness of this. We'll probably list this lower at 25 to ensure that it moves. All right. Next up, we have Maurice's. Definitely would not get that brand in general, but this appears to be a Y2K dress. Again, we've got the very floral, grungy piece. We have the mesh with the liner underneath, very trendy for Y2K stuff. And also very baby doll style. Lots of smocking. This one is shorter length. I would imagine we'd sell this for around 25 to 30. All right, this is not a brand I recognize, but this is a very on-trend style, very oversized. This one actually needs a clipping down below. We're fraying a little bit, but very on-trend, very boho, very natural looking, very oversized. This also gives very like Y2K minimalist vibes, so this could go in so many different directions. I'm not familiar with that brand, but just on style alone, at least 25. Here's a brand I've not picked up in a while. It is Knox Rose, but again, longer length dress. It's tiered. We can get at least $25 for this. Plus it is a larger size and a size extra, extra large. All right, this next brand I'm not familiar with. This could actually be a bolo, but based on style alone, I would have picked it up. Veritelli. Size large, very artsy, log and look style, mixed media, got a lot going for it. And it's a very grungy color, which is trending right now. So the mixed media alone and the fact that it's like an oversized log and look is the reason I would have gotten that. I'll also use probably the keyword artsy on that one. And I'm guessing at least 25 on most of these pieces. Same thing, we've got a torrid dress. This one's longer length. I do have some pretty good luck with torrid dresses. It just really depends on what it is. I definitely am not paying full price for torrid dresses anymore. So as a reminder, this did come from the bins and we'll probably only sell it for $25. But again, with the right keywords and the right price, it will sell quickly. All right, here is another Lululemon item with the rip tag, which is awesome. This is a merino wool blend sweater, zip sweater. Substantial pieces in Lululemon, I'm probably getting, potentially even at regular thrift stores at full price. It is definitely something that I would consider getting, even if I have to price lower. This one is in excellent condition too. I'm not super familiar with the style, but I'm guessing at least 40 for this. It's super thick, the rip tag's there, and it's in great condition. This is another Lululemon. We've got part of the rip tag here. This is pretty plain t-shirt, at least 25 for that one is what we're hoping for. All right, this next one is one of my best-selling brands. It might actually be the best-selling brand for me in 2024, and it's going to shock you because it is a brand most people pass on. It's Old Navy. Now, I didn't pick up everything Old Navy last year. It was very specific pieces, but one thing I did have a lot of luck with were their dresses, specifically in longer lengths. This one is not longer length. However, it does have that very milkmaid silhouette style, baby doll top. Great silhouette, plus it is new with tags, which should help it. Pretty plain black dress, but again, milkmaid I think is definitely going to sell this one, at least 25 for that one. And I'm pricing a little lower just because, again, it's shorter length. All right, we have another modern Abercrombie & Fitch, but it is a dress, baby doll style. This one is also new with tags. I would guess that this one would probably sell for about 30. And then very last piece before I hop off of here is another Y2K style top. Not a brand I would normally get, but again, sheer meshy details. We've got the baby doll style here, and then we also have that dark background with a contrasting floral. It's not enough to just get the dark background with the contrasting floral, so I want to reiterate that. You got to factor stack a lot of these pieces together when it comes to style-based pieces, and we'll probably sell that one for $25, again, just to remain competitive. That is the haul for today. I realized it was a little bit long. Looks like we're at about a little over 30 minutes, but I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know you like the bread and butter stuff, and I did try to slow down a little bit today on some of the pieces and just talk through why we are getting them. Style-based pickups have been like game-changing for my business. I hope that they can be game-changing for yours. Again, if you want to dive even deeper and just get there sooner, get that fast pass to style-based sourcing, the vintage stuff, the aesthetics, we could totally get you there in like a week. We have so much content in Reseller's Edge, so consider joining if you are interested. Otherwise, I'm going to keep putting out some hauls and hopefully working with you guys in the comments to help you out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.